situation that we have on our hands currently. Today, we'll also have a conversation with the head of women's football at CAF in just about 10 or 15 minutes or so to talk about the Women's Champions League that's kicking off this weekend. So just keep that in mind real quick. So, yes, let's get to that incident. So, CAF wrote to two Ghanaian clubs and notified the FA as well that the intention to use the Cape Coast Stadium for their group phase games, that's Dreams FC and Mediama, will not be possible. Why? Because the Cape Coast Stadium is not fit for purpose and cannot host senior level CAF matches. Now, that's where it becomes a little interesting for teams like Mediama, because they say they played teams like Horoya and a couple of other teams at the Cape Coast Stadium. They are asking that why was it okay to be able to play those games in there, but suddenly it's a little harder to play group phase games there. They say they don't understand. CAF says that, well, depending on what stage of the competition we are talking about, the rules get tightened a little, and this is what we are facing as things stand now. Now, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium has been given as the only ground that is supposedly worthy of hosting CAF matches. Now, if you look at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, look, I'm saying that even that has an asterisk beside it, because the last time this happened, it was a Black Stars game. I remember it was Ghana. It was before the Ghana versus Nigeria game, where we were, tossing up where to go play the game, and CAF basically told us that only Baba Yara can actually host the game, and even that they'd have to make concessions for us to host the game, because I can't even go through all of it. If you talk about requirements, talk about security requirements with regards to the car park, it's not proper. Wireless internet, washrooms,
media center.
Yep, the media center. We need to have a doping center at the Baba Yara. We don't have all these things available, and so this week the NSA have been responding to this particular matter. I find their response quite interesting. So let's get to Deputy Director General of the NSA, Majid Bawa. He spoke to the issues in response to CAF telling them that the Cape Coast Stadium is not a stadium we can use for CAF matches. Let's listen to what the NSA have had to say about these issues.
You see, there's a communication gap between the FA and the NSA. The FA thinks that whatever they want to do, they can do and do it the way they want it. When they are considering this thing, so that the facilities is under the other entity. And so they have to inform us. On this day, FIFA will be coming to do inspection on the facilities to see whether it is up to date. These things are not done. All that we hear is that FIFA have come, they've inspected, and all those stuff. For example, we are aware that we have invested, the ministry and the National Sports Authority have invested so much in the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. As for Cape Coast, because no team is playing any game in it, so we don't pay much attention to the Cape Coast like we do for Baba Yara and Accra Sports Stadium. So if we don't know, we are just sitting down, then they will come and inspect and tell us that the facility is that standard. We are working as a team. So you know that inspectors are coming tomorrow or next week. And then you know that the facility is under the management of another entity. What is the best thing for you to do, Nagada? Inform the person that we are working on this thing, setting these people on this thing. So we have to fix before the fact, if any. Then we all work as a team. But we are sitting down, we realize that the inspectors have come, they have done their inspection, and they say that the facility is not up. Tomorrow you see that the same institution that says the facility is not up to standard will write to you and say that this other company want to use the same facility to play the same game that they say we will not use to play.
Okay.
So if we need to bring the facilities up to the standard, let's communicate, let's get at it. Because we are all building for the national team for the
Interesting thoughts there. So the NSA deputy director, basically, let me sum it up for you. He says that the FA need to inform the NSA ahead of time when inspections are about to go down, so that they will put their house in order, and like basically so they don't get caught pants down when these inspectors come through. And he also basically mentioned that they are confused. I deduce from this, they are confused as to the criteria CAF uses to judge whether a facility is up to standard or not, because one moment CAF allows you to play AFCON games here, qualifiers here. The next moment CAF is telling you that the same place that you played your AFCON qualifiers will not be fit for these level of games. Let me start off with you, Nathan, on this one. We are back at this point again. I remember this came up when we were embarking on our World Cup journey. We went around looking for a ground to host Nigeria. Eventually, it went to Baba Yara, spiritual home, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of concessions had to be made for that game to be played at Baba Yara. And it looks like in the time span that the concessions were made for us to play the games, the issues that were addressed have not been fixed. So we are basically walking on thin ice as far as even Baba Yara is concerned at this point. But what do we do with regards to this stadia issue, and what role does the NSA and the GFA both play in helping us to resolve this?
You know, actions they say, and this week, the biggest thing for me this weekend has been, actions and words. The biggest thing for me, a lot of the things in sports this week, for me, have been about actions and words. So Ghana, we say we like football. We say we are a sports country. We say we are good at sports. We are good at football. And yet we don't act like a country that's good at football. Now, what do you need to play football? You need pitches. And our country is involved in high-level competitions very often. And so if we are involved in high-level competitions, it stands to reason that the grounds need to be in tip-top shape. The grounds need to be in tip-top shape. Yep. There's a question I always ask. The things we are experiencing as a country, when you go to North Africa, have we ever heard CAF saying that a stadium in Casablanca is not good enough before? Have we ever heard that a stadium in Nigeria is not good enough before? Have we ever heard that a stadium in South Africa is not good? How much more Europe? Have we ever heard that UEFA says Wembley is not up to standard? So now the English FA gets up and they are going around, hopping all around England. Do you know that when England presented their list of grounds for Euro 2020, is it 2028? Old Trafford didn't make the boat. Old Trafford, though, in all its
glory. Old Trafford that Ronaldo said is old.
In all its glory, it didn't make the cut. What am I saying? I'm saying that there is a standard. Of course. That standard will not be bent for Ghana. If almighty Old Trafford did not make England's list for Euro 2028, then the Baba Yara Stadium is of no exception. The Baba Yara Stadium and the Cape Coast Stadium and wherever, the rules cannot be bent for them. So as a country, we need to start getting things right. We need to understand that if we say we want to do this football business, pitches will have to be in great condition. National team games will have to be played on acceptable surfaces. We cannot sit here and lie to ourselves that, everything is fine. And then 6 hours before a Black Stars game, we'll go and bring a compactor or a roller to go and roll around the Baba Yara turf. Roller, then we go. We
do this all the time.
Up and down. Then they think they are smart. I think they go and spray the grass.
They call. When the games are coming and they are always racing behind. They are racing with time. They'll call Frank Boahin. Then that week, Frank Boahin call the water people. They working around the. What is all this?
Look, you cannot cheat the system. Ben, I don't know anybody who has ever tried cheating the system and the system didn't catch them one day. this business of dancing around, fix the ground, we won't fix the ground, and we are doing. Today, we have been caught pants down. Listen to Mr. Majid Bauer. He says, well, he says there's a communication gap between the NSA and the GFA. And that when CAF is coming to town, correct me if I'm wrong, whether he didn't say that. When CAF is coming to town, they need to be told that CAF is coming. Then they get, what is that? So when you do that, you are lying to yourself. It is like the thing that a lot of young guys do. Your room is in a complete mess. And yet, when your girlfriend is coming, you want her to tell you that, hey, I'm coming, so you clean. One day she'll come and catch you. 2 minutes. The room will be clean. 2 minutes.
So the day she doesn't tell you
She doesn't tell you is the day you'll be exposed.
No more away from experience.
My rooms have always been clean.
Thank you, my brother.
Those days.
So
Not now. Those days.
I'm just saying that even those days,
Okay, you wouldn't want.
I believe you.
it could pass the test.
Mr. Kwa, I believe you.
Thank you. You mean if an inspection team arrives?
No,
That's
catch.
another.
I
So
believe
you
you.
see, but it's quite sad that today the NSA is saying that somebody should prompt them to keep the ground in shape for an inspection. What is your day job?
You know what he said? He says, as for the Cape Coast Stadium, they are not surprised it has run down because it is not in frequent
You
use.
see,
People
That
don't-
statement-
don't forget that people are being paid.
That statement
People work for the NSA and they are being
and they are being
paid to
paid,
maintain the
though.
ground.
should
draw
be
a-
sacked immediately.
they draw a salary on a monthly. So what is your job? So wait, so now when the ground is not being used, you won't take care of it? Is that what they are telling us? Then really, what is the point of being there then? When we pay you hard-earned money, and the people in these places need to understand that it is my tax, Edwin's tax, Yao's tax, Chris's tax, and Ben yours, and the listeners, your tax. It is what we amalgamate to pay people in public positions. So if today, a few weeks to the first round of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, Ghana cannot find a proper place to play a World Cup qualifier, then we need to be asking the NSA some very serious questions. What do they spend their time doing? Sports policy, you won't formulate. Run ground, you won't run the grounds well. So really, what do you want to do? NSA.
Because don't forget that Esipon is out of commission.
As for a sip on the bed.
But you know,
Totally
no,
random.
but you see, there's a certain narrative going around that Esipon has been maintained. The Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium is viable.
On what
There's a certain narrative going
the
around.
people who are saying that the Ali Mahama Stadium, me, I won't argue. Last Wednesday, football made in Ghana, we opened the phone line. Somebody called from Tamale, and I can find them. The person said, the person lives in Tamale. Oh. He says the Alhaji Ali Mahama Stadium is in tatters.
You mean it has become a workroom?
He said the person is in Tamale.
Reptiles,
so if we
pythons.
in Accra, if we say it and you don't believe it, I'll play you the voice from somebody from Tamale.
But
Why are we
apparently,
doing this?
they are supposed to unveil a Koforidua Stadium in the next couple.
December 19.
see-
Yeah, the
see
minister,
the
the
things
minister
we do.
confirmed
So
that it
as
will be
for-
commissioned on December
we are
19.
watching.
one that is
The youth
being
resource center.
We are watching.
No,
The one in Koforidua, it will be unveiled on December 19. That's
We are
according
watching.
to the sports
the
minister.
Legon 1-2, and then the one for the All African Games.
Yes, at
Look,
Baltimore.
Nketsia, people should be
See,
sacked.
Let-
In
let-
Ghana,
let-
eh,
I'll-
So then,
let me
as I conclude, I'm only saying that Ghana, we say we like sports, but we actually don't.
You don't show it.
We are lying to ourselves. We are lying, and today the lies have caught up with us, and the lies will keep on catching up with us until such a time when we'll start to learn and do things right. Until that day, these things will happen, and let us all not be shocked if one day CAF tells us that go and play your World Cup qualifier in another country. Maybe that is what we need to
No,
wake up.
but we are gradually getting
No
there.
problem, and it will happen. It will happen.
Let me give Christopher a take on this, and then we'll see if we can speak to our lady from CAF.
Nketsia, you see, in life, if you are caught sleeping on the job once, you can be forgiven. But the moment this thing is becoming a habit, then we should be looking at you with different eyeballs. If I'm your boss and today I come and you are dozing off, I say, oh, Nketsia, are you okay? Is there any problem? Do you have any problem? Problem? If that's the first time I saw you, come on, young man, maybe you had a long night yesterday. I know what happened. You, as young boys, when your nights are long, normally
It's okay. Don't do that.
Oh, Edwin, you
Hey,
Busy.
maybe that's why he was busy overnight, so he didn't sleep well. That is understandable. But then, after that time or after that day,
You should not be repeating the same sequence again. Yeah.
look, we nearly lost the opportunity to play Nigeria here in Ghana. It went down to the wire. We all remember what happened. Emergency to the extent that Daniel Amokachi and Co could do a Facebook.
Yeah.
Or, you remember those
They
things?
took videos and said we were confused.
What?
No, it's true.
Look, that was the biggest embarrassment you could think about. Getting our fellow brothers from Nigeria, our rivals, bigger rivals, more or less teasing us that they will look at whole Ghana. If you want a place to go,
and it was a year ago.
just a year ago.
We've had
we've
time
sat down
in
for a
between.
year.
We've had time in between to have fixed the issues CAF asked us to fix.
To fix. And when you listen to the man whose voice we played, he should be sacked. Because how can you say that because a facility is not being used by football? Look, I can bet my last peswa that maybe it is football that is not being played at the Cape Coast Stadium. But we know they will give these facilities out to what?
Shatawali.
No, na make a mock, only mock. I make a mock. Ya democracy. No, I make democracy.
Medical and Shatawali.
As we speak, they are competing about who will use the Accra Sports Stadium, which day and for the Christmas.
Charlie.
When you listen to people like this, when you speak out in this way, so you are just sitting in the office and chopping free money for no work done. Every month your salary is paid. What's the name of the man who spoke?
Majid Bauer.
Mr. Majid
He's
Bauer.
the deputy director
It's
general.
Professor Chumesi's number 2.
What? How can you say that? How can you say that? If you were to make such a statement anywhere in the world, you are sacked.
You are
You are
losing
gone.
your job.
You lose your job right there. Okay, so the accountant general or the finance minister can say that because there is no work to be done at the Cape Coast, Mr. Majid Bauer, go and sit home small.
Coach, I said the NSA, the Cape Coast Stadium has an NSA director over there. There are NSA personnel who have been and the NSA Cape Coast director has also spoken this week. I don't know if you can find that voice. I'll try and find it for you. He also says, I was saying at the beginning, that they are confused as to the requirements of CAF because they allowed them to play some of their preliminary games over there. Why aren't they allowing them to play group phase games? And
no, but
CAF
if you play and the facilities is getting worse, you don't maintain these facilities.
like we are saying, concessions were made for us.
Exactly, to use it. So just after using, you go back and fix the
I
problem.
don't buy the argument because the point is there are reasons why even at the World Cup certain stadia are used for group stage games.
Yep.
And
then
when you get to the
move on,
semi-finals and the finals, certain stadia are
Yep.
used because you want a huge crowd
Yep.
to witness the game.
certain stadia have facilities, others don't
Others
have.
don't have. Others have more seats than others. So in that situation, if they allow certain games to be played at certain venues, but they did not allow certain games to be played at that same venue, it's understandable because it happens everywhere. That is the standard procedure.
This is Ghana. This country, everything bisi basa. Noko ya no more. People do things and go scot-free. Everything is basa. For we, the ordinary people, when we look at our paycheck at the end of the month, and you see that our tax that is being taken out, for me to now sit back and say, my Black Stars, my under 17, my national team cannot play international games. I think in 2 weeks' time,
Yes, we are.
We have World Cup
playing
qualifiers.
World Cup qualifiers.
It's about to become. That's what I'm saying. It's a bigger problem than dreams and Mediama.
Of course, because at the end of the day, the facility in Kumasi, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, is not even up to the standard.
I'm telling you that you also forget about, don't even go into details. Do you remember Chris Hutton's unveiling?
Yes.
Did you see the beer table, the dining table they brought to come and do their presser? See, if you ever attend a presser,
the dungeon,
the Baba Yara Stadium presser place is called, I called it the dungeon. The moment you enter there, your network bars will all lost. If Citi FM wants to call you to do live report, they can't do it.
What sort of people
and,
are we?
And then CAF is spelling out things like a doping center. I see those things and I laugh. I'm like, when are we going to get to that
Do you
level?
remember the presser table for the Nigerian team when they came?
I remember. I remember.
But I sure when she left, right, center, just disgracing this
We
country.
can't get anything
Everywhere
right.
we are being embarrassed. Look, like I'm saying, it's a norm. Those who are to make sure that things are done right. I'm in fact sleeping. Nobody is responsible for anything. Everything just is going wayward, and we are being disgraced left, right, center. They should continue. But look, one day, there's judgment day. One day,
So,
there's judgment day.
So I'll just read a few of the requirements CAF have for you in a few of the categories. Now, everything is classified into different categories. So the women have what they look out for when they are doing this. The national teams have what they look out for, and the clubs have what they look out for. Now, the clubs fall under what you call category 3. Let me just do a few of the read-ups for you. So, for instance, they say field of play and warm-up area. 1. The field of play must be smooth and level. The stadium must be equipped with either a natural grass, hybrid, or artificial turf. Field of play must contain only the lines and markings for football. I think these ones are fine. Field of play isn't such a big problem for us. When you go to, for instance, let's say player tunnel. Good. Player tunnel is a good place. You see, they say in the event of a stadium, in the event a stadium has a player tunnel, it shall be minimum of 4 meters wide and a minimum of 2.4 meters high. The point where the participating players and match officials enter the playing area shall be protected by means of a fireproof telescopic tunnel and shall extend into the playing area far enough to prevent the risk of injury to the match participants caused by objects thrown by spectators. We don't have this. If you've seen our national team games, we don't have this. Let me read more for you on the... Hold on.
Wireless.
Yeah, let me...
Wireless.
So team dressing rooms, for instance.
Is there hot water?
They say first of all, team dressing rooms. So you must have showers, individual seated toilets, urinals, bathroom sink, seating and lockers, massage table, tactical board, hot and cold water, good ventilation or air conditioning, a fridge, provision to mount a television, non-slip floors made from hygienic material, ideally with shock absorption, ice bath, which could be either permanent or temporary. Tell you what, dude.
The shock absorption kill me.
Then they say,
wait, hold on. I just want to. These are the things.
yeah, hold on. Then they say the stadium must guarantee direct. Hold on. They say the stadium must guarantee direct, private, and secure access for teams from their dressing rooms to the playing area. Okay, I think these are. Let me just go through one more category, and then you get like a sense of.
I wish you could read the national team one, because in 2 weeks we are playing football.
I'll get to that. I'll get to, but I don't think time will allow us to. But let me just get to the first aid treatment facilities for players and officials. 1. Now it says first aid and treatment room, examination and treatment table, emergency medicaments, minor surgery supplies and equipment, automatic ventilator, oxygen with appropriate masks, oral airway, splints, stretchers, suction machine, cardiac monitor, external cardiac pacing, central vein catheters, intubation equipment, a pupil lamp, digital thermometer, a pulse oximeter. Look, I don't even want to keep going. From this,
Go and watch Ghana Premier League.
Baba
Dude, are these things
not qualified.
Are these things there?
That is-
The dressing. We see the dressing room.
this is what you were talking about. A player from Mediama got,
And I mean,
Tiwenio.
Look at this.
And you
Somebody almost
and
died.
you see, I always go back to the Christian Eriksen situation, and I say that look, emergency medical help, when it is properly available and it is being manned by the right people, it's a difference between life and death. Look,
Of course.
if Eriksen had been dealt with in a situation where the medical conditions were wishy-washy,
By this
and then the personnel didn't know what they were doing,
Like by this time, Ericsson will be referred to in the past
How
tense.
many, how many of
Yep.
our teams have qualified medical doctors working with them?
Charlie.
No more players say blood. No, I believe as chase no. I jill as block. But I can shoot a pampan. I can shoot a hina. Any I can post a game by 4 o'clock. One and no call me. One and no call me. One and no call me. What is this? Look, it's a serious issue in Nketsia.
Charlie. Good.
Some of these things. What?
What bombing like?
Raise your legs and stretch out. You know, how can we continue to live like this?
Yeah, my legs, my knees, my
Yeah, that's the one that informed me. Judgment and a boy. Judgment and a boy. What is all this? Look, we are in a serious problem. Oh. For me, look, God save Ghana. Because see, some of these things, if you don't control yourself,
You might say,
you
"Oh,
make it personal.
and it's not
People are
supposed
to
to."
know better. They are to know better. That is why you say, because the facility is not in use, it must be left to rot. No wonder the Takrade Sports Stadium, the Esipon,
Chris,
is gone.
have you seen? You've seen the
it's gone.
images from
Esipon.
It's so sad.
If you have said, you know
How
how
old a
in charge of Esipon was built in 2008.
It's 15 years old.
Sipon looks like a museum that's falling apart
Why?
from a haunted movie.
Why?
Years old.
How can you do? No wonder those places are, those stadiums are all being left to rot. Because the people, nobody is there. There's no team in Takrady. The facility is not being used, so leave it there. How can you do that? How can you do that? We spent over 32 million euros to build that facility.
Yep.
It's been left to rot.
Less
because nobody's
than
using it.
2 decades. The Cape Coast Stadium is the sad one. The Cape Coast
Yes.
Stadium is not 10 years old.
Yes.
It's not 10 years old.
No,
was the
Cape
last-
is not 10 years.
It's not.
The late President Mills, isn't it? Yes, it was
It's not 10
President
years
Mills during his time.
2013,
I
2014.
hear everything condemned. The automatic gate does not work anymore.
It
Now-
doesn't work.
And apparently they need to hot wire the gate before you can get. Oh, it be serious matter. Oh. They need to hot wire the gate before the gate.
Mission
the gate
Impossible.
Like you can't push a button and have it open again. The security areas are compromised, and these are the things. You know why these things hurt me, because it's not like the NSA does not know about these things. Oh. CAF have written. This is not the first time.
Countless,
This is not the
countless.
second time. This is not the third time. They've written to us on multiple occasions. So I'm asking myself that when you have stadia to fix and to maintain, why are you building youth centers? Because those youth centers, you can't use them to do anything.
Look, truth be told, if we had kept the Sipon Stadium and the Tamale Sports
I'm
Stadium
telling you.
in top shape, we shouldn't be building
Accra,
a new
Cape
stadium
Coast.
at Botema.
If we have 5 stadia,
All being properly maintained.
our Ghana Premier League could revolve around these
These
5.
5 stadiums.
Man, it's just hard.
I'm a
It's really crazy. I'll take a few thoughts on these, but please send your messages in 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. So a few messages coming through. Brahma from Awo, she says, "Good evening, Ben. The NSA boss is moving around, running his campaign and pounding fufu and giving drums to churches with renovation money he took from government." I'm not sure about all of this.
He's an aspirant.
Who, Chumesi or Bawa?
No, Professor Chumesi is an aspirant.
For which position?
For MP for Ahafuano South.
Come on.
Hey, Charlie.
When check, come on.
MP for
Benekison.
Ahafuano.
See,
Look at this.
So he's hopped on one job.
Don't forget that he's a professor. He
Are
holds
you
a,
surprised?
he holds a
All
job.
the
Yeah.
ministers, all the CEOs, all the DCs, where are they?
They want to be.
They vacated their posts, and we are paying them every month. We pay them every month. They vacated their posts, and they are doing campaign. At the end of the month, they're going to collect money and chop. They're going to collect their pay.
Because Chumesi, like we're saying,
So
don't forget that Chumesi already holds a position at KNUS.
Exactly.
In addition to his NSA position, and then he wants to chop MP on top of it. You can't be serious.
All of them, they've all left their posts.
Kofi listening inside Amasaman